Hey, I'm gonna read the stickies. You're gonna run it from here. The next slide is gonna be the examples. You want me to put the slides now, or do you want me to do it after we read the stickies?
Do the stickies.
All right, we're gonna debrief. We're gonna debrief everyone that way.
This exercise is twofold. One is to get everybody to kind of see that everybody has the same issues, right? And to understand that this is a universal challenge in the profession. And as a matter of fact, you grab any industry and you change a couple of words there, and it's all the same thing, right? It's all people dealing with people, right? It's the mess of people dealing with people. That's all it is, right? And Carlos, you want to do some examples?
I'm gonna read them out. Obviously, the customer one tends to be the more popular one, but there
the
are
customer's the problem.
There are a couple that we're gonna lay out for you. You can take a picture of it, and some of you will have it on your guides itself. Just the most common critical conversations that we've seen from feedback we've received. But a customer has a loan application and they need the information by yesterday. Pricing conversations for the older clients. A lot of pricing. Existing customers. Raise price, communicate my value without judgment. Price increase. Scope creep. Moving from, is it contractor to CFO? Whoever wrote that? Controller to CFO?
Oh, that's me, I'm sorry.
Is that what is it like a role change conversation?
Yeah, exactly. They're a controller, but they have bandwidth for CFO. And I'm getting a little scaredy cat-ish. Say, hey, let's move to CFO.
Got it. Like an upsell, upselling a service thing. Right? Unresponsive client, scope creep, closing the sale, asking for the business.
Right.
Not one of those where you're like, here's everything, let me know.
We do a lot of that too.
Because you don't want to seem pushy. Even after value, fired client over price. Someone wants to expand on that?
Yeah, I just fired a huge client, 45 properties, and they argued about pricing. Their CPA gave me references and referrals and everything. They raved about me. The client did all through the year, but they didn't want to.
So you disengaged. We got a new one. We got a new fresh one. Out of scope conversation, difficult client relationship. What's difficult about it? Whoever wrote that.
Everything.
That
Hope.
was me. That could be, I'm dealing with a lot of small business clients who they stress themselves. We could have a meeting and you could feel energy exchange from their bad day coming here.
Got it.
Towards me.
Bringing anxiety into conversations.
Yes.
Does that
That's the
include them
moment, right?
answering their phone or answering? We'll do that later, or doing work while they're talking to you at the same time? Absolutely.
So the moment is they're distracted during a phone call, or they're coming in with a negative frame of mind, overwhelmed.
More the second. We could be, I'm trying to work on their schedule and schedule meetings and appropriate for theirs, and it's still like.
So they're disorganized.
You just gotta lead.
Yes.
The moment is the moment that you would have to create, if they haven't created it, would be what? What kind of conversation would you need to have?
What kind of conversation? Well, I'm a pretty direct person, even though I seem pretty demure. After a certain point, I want to just make sure, like you were talking about earlier, look at everything I do to you, da 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 da. I don't want it to bottle up to the point of where it comes out like that.
I do to you, I do for you.
I do for you.
You said to you.
Oh.
No. It's an important distinction, because we're doing things to people or for people. Sometimes we're doing the tax return to this person. It's like for this person. And if we project it as we're doing something to you, towards you, versus we're doing something for you in service of you, that energy comes off. So the customer sees you as just a provider versus a partner. You're doing something for someone, that's a partner. To someone, that's not so much of a partner. That usually is something negative, right? He did something to me, like he did something against me. But it says, you know what he did for me, we know something positive is coming. Sometimes a little change of word can also change the way you look at it too.
But we'll talk a little bit about what's called a pre-frame. When you need to set up a moment, you need to pre-frame a conversation. I'll give you the very short 3-step version of it, right? Starts with a polite opening. Hi, Hope, right? Then you're going to list out a couple of mutually agreeable facts. And I normally would start the conversation with, I've noticed that, and then state the facts. In the last 3 times that we scheduled to have a conversation, they weren't as productive as we wanted them to, because we needed to reschedule them, and then you create the impact. This impacts my ability to best serve you. This impacts our ability to be able to give you the results you're looking for.
Or to
this
plan
impacts
proactively.
the ability. No feelings, all facts.
Yes.
Because facts you can't argue against. In today's political climate, maybe. Because people want to argue facts all the time. But we're talking about facts of business, right? And then you want to kind of close it out with a easy to answer question. And so you got to think about what's the question you want to think about asking. What do you suggest we do to make this better? When will be a good time for us to have a conversation on how we can improve this? You got to think about the easy to answer question. When you start with that, you could do it in the form of an email. Because what you're doing now is you're creating starts with a B. What am I creating? A boundary. This is the line. You're no longer allowed to cross it. And if you do, there will be a consequence.
And
most people respect that.
And the consequence is you lose the privilege to work with me. You don't say that. You don't say that, right? Because that doesn't sound right. But but you have to feel that. You cross the line, you lose the privilege to work with me.
And if this doesn't improve, then unfortunately it's going to have to change the way it's going to change our relationship, our business relationship moving forward. But keep it mysterious. Because you want them to create a little bit of curiosity where there's a consequence, where they're like, well, what could happen? What do you mean? You're not going to do my taxes anymore? And they call you right away. What's going on? And then you're just like, hey, sorry, I didn't mean to scare you, whatever. Just got your attention, right? Let's talk about how we can improve this relationship moving forward. Because if it doesn't, then unfortunately, we're no longer going to be able to work together.